Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Garima Jain from Rajasthan Technical University. Today we are going to talk on module Organization Structure and HRM from the paper Human Resource Management. After completing this module, the students will be able to understand the meaning of organization structure, having the knowledge of different types of organization structures, understand the line and staff aspects of HRM, knowing the place of HR in the total organization setup. People who work together in organizations, they need a defined and systematic system or structure through which they can relate to each other and coordinate their efforts. The defined relationships among the elements of an organization, namely people, tasks, structure, and information and control processes, is referred to as organization structure. So we can define it further that organization structure means the systematic arrangement of people working for the organization in order to achieve certain goals. It is the framework of authority relationships among individuals and groups in an organization. There are various definitions of organization structure. First is, according to Fred Luthan's organization structure, it represents the skeletal framework of organization behavior. Then, in the words of Henry Albert, organization structure is the framework within which the managerial and operating tasks are performed. There is another definition of organization structure in the words of Charles Lee. Organization structure is the system of relationships formally prescribed and informally developed that governs the activities of the people who are dependent upon each other for the accomplishment of common objectives. Now we shall have a study about the organization chart. The formal relationships in an organization are explained in an organization chart. The lines joining the various positions represent the formal reporting relationships, usually between a superior and a subordinate. That the boxes represent the various important positions in an organization. The distance of the box from the top indicates its position in the hierarchy. The closer the box position to the top, the higher is its status, and vice versa. This you will see in the next slide in the form of an organization chart. The organization chart, it is a picture of an organization chart. As you can see, at the top there is a managing director. Below him is the managing marketing director, finance director, operations director, and HRM director. Under the marketing director is the marketing manager. Under the finance director, finance supervisors. Under the operations, there is production team leaders. Under the HRM director, there is a personnel manager. Then under him, under the marketing managers are the sales teams. Under the finance supervisors, there are accounts assistants. And under the production team leaders, there comes the production team members. Elements of an organization structure. The network of formal relationships and duties, that is the organization chart and the job descriptions. The manner in which various tasks and activities are assigned to different people and departments. The way in which various activities and tasks are coordinated. The power, status, and hierarchical relationships within the organization. The planned policies, methods, and controls that direct the activities and relationships. The flow of information and communication. All these are the elements of an organization structure. Now we shall discuss the factors influencing the choice of structure, strategy and structure, size and complexity of organization, technology, and impact of environment. As we have seen in the previous slide, there are various factors influencing the choice of structure. Designing an organization structure is a continuous process. What seems an ideal design today may prove to be ineffective after some time. So it is the responsibility of managers to continuously improve upon the design of organization. The first point is the strategy and structure. Strategy and strategic choices affect the total organizational structure. Organizational strategy means the way the business positions itself in its setting in relation to its stakeholders, given the organization's resources, capabilities, and mission. Further, in strategy and structure, we will study that structure follows strategy due to the fact that organizational structures are designed to accomplish objectives by implementing the strategies. When strategy changes, structures need changes. All strategy attempts to fulfill the vision, and the organization structure needs to support that effort. Now, the next point is the size and complexity of the organization. As the organization grows bigger and becomes more complex and diverse, the structure needs to change to allow for valuable communication and coordination. As an organization grows in size, complexity, and product market coverage, different strategies and organization forms are used. Technology. The general nature and complexity of technology a firm employs can influence the type of organization structure. For example, computer technology and automation have affected not only production techniques but also the social condition of work and the structure of organizations. Organizations are becoming more flat, that is, the number of middle managers is getting reduced due to the new information systems and computer facilities, resulting in more efficient and dynamic organizations. Now we'll study the last point that is affecting the size of organization structure, the impact of environment. The organizations are continuously interacting with its environment in terms of drawing inputs from it and providing it the output. All organizations operate in an environment comprising of economic, political, social, and legal subsystems. A change in any one of these subsystems may force one to change the design of the organization structure. For example, changes in the government policies regarding foreign equity participation in India made it compulsory for the most foreign owned companies to reduce their holdings and become more national in character. We will study about the formal and informal organization. Formal organization, it refers to the intentional structure of roles in a formally organized enterprise. In such an enterprise, there are well-defined roles, positions, authority, responsibility relationships. Informal organization refers to any informal relationships amongst the persons of an organization. That is, they are based on their social and personal relations. For example, if a person meets with his colleagues every Sunday and forms a recreation club to play billiards, chess, then he is meeting in an informal organization. Whereas the same group of colleagues meets to analyze the last quarter's performance and plan on a project for the future, then it is in the reference of formal organization. Line and staff aspects of HRM. Authority is the right to make decisions, to direct the work of others, and to give orders. First is the line authority. It gives the managers the right to issue orders to other managers or employees. It creates a superior subordinate relationship. Next comes the staff authority. It gives the manager the right to advise other managers or employees. It creates advisory relationship. Within the HR department, the HR manager directs the activities of his employees, that is, he or she exerts line authority within this department, whereas the HR manager advises the CEO on matters related to HRM. In that sense, it plays the advisory role, that is the staff authority. Line and staff aspects of HRM. Line relationship. Line authority represents continuous series of authority and responsibility allocation down the management hierarchy. In other words, board of directors delegates authority to the managing director, who in turn delegates a part of his authority to the general manager. The general manager in turn delegates part of his authority to different departmental heads and through them to the supervisors. However, the line managers are completely responsible and accountable for the results achieved by the employees of the respective departments and sections. This means that though the authority is delegated, responsibility for action taken by a subordinate will be with the superior. The line and staff aspects of HRM. Staff relationships. It is almost impossible to busy line managers to perform all their functions and concentrate on all activities, including management of the people in their respective departments. This gives rise to taking advice and help from specialists. This creates staff relationships. The relationship between two managers is said to be a staff relation when it is created due to giving and taking advice, assistance, information, help, counseling, etc. Thus, staff managers analyze problems, collect information, and develop alternative suggestions and help the line managers to make right decisions quickly. Thus, they reduce the workload of the line managers and allow them to focus on their operative issues. This is a very important part of this module, that is the type of organization structures. First is the line organization structure, next functional organization structure, then line and staff organization structure, divisional organization structure, and matrix organization structure. First, we'll study the line organization structure. This is also known as military organization, and the line of authority flows from the topmost executive to the lowest subordinate. In this type of structure, every employee is accountable to one superior. That is, there is unity of command. In this structure, there is lack of specialization and flexibility. As we have seen in the previous slide, what is line organization structure? We can see this through a diagram that at the top there is board of directors, after them is the managing director or the general manager, then under him comes the marketing manager, production manager, and the finance manager. Under the production manager there is works manager, foreman, supervisor, and the workman. And you can see through the arrows that how the authority is flowing down and responsibility is rising up. Functional organization structure. Here the departments are grouped according to functions like employment, training, salary, welfare, and services, etc. A specialist heads each department and has specialized men under him. The operating executives are free from the necessity of performing work outside their special fields and are offered expert assistance and advice as needed in the performance of their jobs and tasks. As we have seen in the previous slide, what is functional organization structure? Here is a diagram in which we can see at the top there is board of directors, and under him there are, according to the functions, the whole organization is divided. The research and development, production, marketing, human resources, information technology, finance, and administration. That is, according to the functions, the organization is whole divided. Now we can see certain advantages of this type of organization. This type of organization has the advantage of specialization. Every operating executive carefully concentrates on his function and gets expert advice and assistance. But there are some disadvantages also. There are no clear lines of authority, and in the absence of unity of command, coordination and control are also hampered. Now we shall study the line and staff organization structure. This structure has been evolved in order to achieve the benefits of both the line as well as the functional organization. The organization structure is basically that of line organization, but staff officers who are functional experts are engaged to advise the line officers to perform their duties. Under it, staff positions are attached to line executives. Line and staff organization structure. There is a figure to depict the line and staff organization structure. Under the president, you can see there is a legal advisor, which is shown by the bold lines, and there are some shaded lines. The shaded lines show the staff authority, that is the advising position. We can see there are certain advantages of line and staff organization structure. Line and staff organization is more suitable in large organizations. Line and staff structure allows higher flexibility and specialization as there are staff members or advisory members to help the people working in the organizations. But there are certain disadvantages also. Even though a line and staff structure allows higher flexibility and specialization, it may create conflict between line and staff personnel. Staff people may dislike their lack of authority, and this may cause line and staff conflict. Divisional organization structure. The organization is divided into divisions, which could be based on the product, markets, or geographic area. Each division has its own set of functions like finance, marketing, etc., which are like small micro organizations within one large organization. In this slide, you can see the diagram of it, that under a CEO, the company is divided according to the various divisions. Division for product X, division for product Y, division for product Z. Under the division product X, you can have the R&D, research and development, marketing, finance. That for each and every division, we can have different functions, or we can have the same functions for different divisions. The divisions can be there like the clothes division, the foods division, or the handicrafts division, as the company might have. Now, there are certain advantages of this particular kind of organization structure. The key interdependencies and resources within the division are coordinated towards an overall outcome. But the disadvantage is that is too much duplication of resources, skills, and expertise as each division has its own function. The matrix organization structure. A matrix type of organization structure combines the traditional departments seen in functional structures with project teams. In a matrix structure, individuals work across teams and projects as well as within their own department on function. For example, a project or task team established to develop a new product might include engineers and design specialists as well as those with marketing, financial, personal, and production skills. These teams can be temporary or permanent depending on the tasks they are asked to complete. Each team member can find himself or herself with two managers, that is, their normal functional manager as well as a team leader of the project. This depicts the diagram of matrix organization structure. As you can see in this, that each team member can find himself or herself with two managers, their normal functional manager, that is the marketing manager or operation manager or finance manager or HR manager, and a team leader of the project. So this is very well explained in this diagram. This kind of organization structure has certain advantages also. That is, it can help to break down the traditional department obstacles and as such improve communication across the entire organization. It can avoid the need for several departments to meet regularly, so a cost is reduced and a coordination is improved. Motivation is there amongst the team members. It encourages cross-fertilization of ideas across departments. Then, a good sharing of resources across the departments can take place, which can make a project and cost effective. Place of HR department in the total organizational setup. The place of HR department in the total organization setup depends on whether a unit is small or large. In small organizations, there might be no separate HR department. The HR functions might be carried out by the office manager. Further, we'll continue with the place of HR department in the total organization setup. The bigger organizations are having chairman, managing director heading the HR department. Typical HR department may be headed by a director under whom are the manager training, manager HRD, manager industrial relations, and manager administration. So students, let us summarize what we have learnt in this module. Organization structure means the systematic arrangement of people working for the organization in order to achieve certain goals. It is the framework of authority relationships among individuals and groups in an organization. Various types of organization structures are there like line and staff, functional, divisional, and matrix. The place of HR department in the total organization setup depends on whether a unit is large or small. In small organizations, there might be no separate HR department. The human resource functions might be carried out by the office manager. This is not the case with bigger organizations. Nowadays, the organizations have chairman, managing director heading the HR department. Now we shall discuss what are the advantages and disadvantages of line structure as we have already discussed in the module. So let us have a summary of it. The advantages of line structure: it tends to simplify and clarify authority, responsibility, and accountability relationships. It promotes faster decision making and it is simple to understand. The disadvantages of this structure is that specialists are not given importance in planning. Then the advantages of line and staff structure. Line and staff organization is more suitable in large enterprises. Line and staff structure, it allows higher flexibility and specialization. Then the disadvantages or the demerits. Even though a line and staff structure allows higher flexibility and specialization, it may create conflict between line and staff personals. Then the staff people may dislike their lack of authority and this may cause line and staff conflicts. Now the advantages of functional organization structure. Functional organization has the advantage of specialization. Every operating executive carefully concentrates on his function and gets expert advice and assistance. Then the disadvantage of this is that the lines of authority are not clear. Then the division. With the advantages of this, there are key interdependencies and resources within the division and they are coordinated towards an overall outcome. Then the disadvantage of this structure is that too much duplication of resources, skills and expertise as each division has its own function. Then in the last, the matrix organization. It can help to break down traditional department obstacles and as such improving communication across the entire organization. It avoids the need for several departments to meet regularly, so reducing costs and improving coordination, likely to result in greater motivation amongst the team members, and it encourages cross fertilization of ideas across the departments. Then it is a good way of sharing resources across the departments which can make a project most cost effective. Then there are certain disadvantages of matrix organization structure, that the members of the project teams may have divided loyalties as they report to two line managers equally. This scenario can put project team members under a heavy pressure of work. There may not be clear line of accountability for project teams given the complex nature of matrix structures. Then it is difficult to coordinate also. It takes time for matrix team members to get used to working in this kind of structure. Team members may neglect their functional responsibilities. So, thank you.